Are expats fueling the property boom? Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee because we're going to have a look at an article from realestate.com.au which is asking the question, or making the claim, that returned expats are powering the economic recovery with their property purchases. They're helping the property boom. Thank those expats coming back. What do you reckon? What do you think? You know, I'd make the argument that perhaps it might be something else. It just might be something else. You know. I'll just bring up one image to show you here. Maybe the home builder is having a bit of an impact as well as all the expats. It could be both. It could be expats coming back, buying their first Australian house, and using a home builder, perhaps. But let's have a look here at asking prices. So right now, this is all of the capital city average prices. All houses over $1 million in the capital cities. 3-bedders, 949. You've got 580 and 565 for units. If we combine the regions, we can still see everything. It's all shot up. April 2021, 665 and 590 for 3-bedders, guys. So, housing is going up. Asking prices are a bit hot at the moment. So let's have a look to see if expats are the heroes of the Australian economy. Because, it's all we pretty much have is housing, farming and mining, with a few coffee shops down in Melbourne. So, returning to Australia from overseas is still challenging. But we've seen huge numbers of expats make the journey. And that has meant a big flip for the property market. Many, of course, had owned their home back here, but for others it meant finding one, maybe initially as a rental and then for purchase. For most it meant a trip to the furniture retailers. That has been a godsend to our economy. The Foreign Affairs Department estimates there were about 1 million Australians living overseas this time last year. Between the onset of the pandemic last March through to October, some 398,000 Australians returned home, possibly many for good. But last month, that was up to about 480,000 Australians, meaning close to half the total number of Australians previously leaving abroad were back home, according to estimates by Advance.org, a professional network for expats. Buyers agents have been a huge beneficiary of the return, as the property hunt has often begun with the expats looking online while still overseas. Local buyers agents have been engaged to search and negotiate for properties. Family members back home have often traditionally been tasked with the job, but the onset of the pandemic meant many family members were constrained by lockdowns. According to the Property Investment Professionals of Australia chairman, Peter Calozzi, many of these expats had plenty of dollars behind them, often in stronger currencies than the Australian dollar, which supercharged their buying power even more. Expats from expensive cities like London, Hong Kong and New York often don't consider our real estate prices unaffordable and are happy to pay what is necessary to secure a prestigious property in a desirable location, he said. Our members report that some of these sales prices being achieved in Sydney, for example, seem insane, even in booming market conditions, with new money or the expat factor the likely reason. I mean, this is the thing, everyone. It's all to do with framing and anchoring. If you're in New York, and you're riding past Lewis's repair shop, and you see the insane property prices there, Australia's going to seem a little bit more affordable because you're psychologically anchored to higher prices. So, indeed, some properties are selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what anyone, including expats, had predicted, which is leaving sellers very happy. But many buyers and property investment professionals scratching their heads somewhat. Well, we've never been in a market where you've had this situation where all these expats have had to return home. This has never happened before. I mean, what would the closest be? World War II? All the GIs coming back, all the soldiers coming back. But then you had massive house building and they had low rates. It's a completely different time then to now. So what we're seeing is completely unique. So it has been the pricier market segments that especially see their presence with CoreLogic noting across the combined capitals. The upper quartile of the market recorded a 3.7% lift in values in March. Sydney's upper quartile home values were 4.8% higher over the month. The latest surge in extravagant expat buyer spending will do nothing for their reputation as easy targets. I'd suggest sooner or later it will be obvious that the buyer's agents should have been a little more responsible in spending their clients' money. Well, there we go. So what are the lessons we can take from this, everyone, or the solutions? Now, I'd argue that the returning expats will indeed have an impact on the market, if only to play up the headlines for news.com and all of these other articles. You know, the people paying hundreds of thousands of dollars above the reserve, fantastic, getting their feature in the news. But it would have to have a short-term impact, and the majority of them, 500,000 have come back. How many more are going to come back to Australia? It depends what happens. How many of them will only stay temporarily and leave as well? So we might see them, living here for some time and going, you know what, I'm sick of it. I'm heading off again in a year or two when things calm down around the world, if they do. So will it have a short-term impact on the market? And will it come to an end soon? There's the consideration, everyone. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Perhaps it looks like it's only fueling one portion of the market. And we can see here an example just of how you don't have uniform growth. People will look at one advertisement for property price increase and they'll apply that across the whole city and they'll be mistaken. I mean, this is the example that I show, just unit price growth, how inconsistent it was around Sydney. You've got the posher areas, what's called the Goat Cheese Cafe area, and then you've got the Red Rooster line of all of the properties that haven't grown as well, more the investment grade stock out west as opposed to the stuff on the east coast. So perhaps we are seeing the return of the expats flood into Australia, and they are having at least a temporary impact on the market, but it's only being felt in the upper quartiles, not consistently throughout everything. What do you reckon? Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that one in the comments down below. If you're a fan of the channel and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us by signing up for SelfWealth or Stake, where if you fund your account, we each get a free share on Stake. Or if you sign up for SelfWealth, we each get 5 free share trades. You can help us out by using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. Buy our merch from HeiseSays or Teespring. Use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.